Ladies and gentlemen, on your feet for your New Orleans Saints. All right, Football Nation, let's meet the starters for your New Orleans Saints. At wide receiver from Armstrong, number 12, Marcus Colston. And at quarterback from Purdue, number 9, Trey Breeze.
And welcome to this exhibition clash between the Philadelphia Eagles and New Orleans Saints. The Saints are hosting here and want to be able to keep the home field advantage going as we get ready for this one. Chris, what is the key in this matchup?
Well, Gus, I think you said it best, home field advantage. This team needs to come out and rally early to get the fans on their side. If you have thousands of fans screaming and cheering, you feed off of that and you can turn it into some positive stuff on the field. This should be a great game in this one.
All right, Chris, with that in mind, it's game time, and we've got two teams really ready to rumble. Number 9 gets set to kick it away. And the tackle was made by Casey Matthews. And here comes Purdue University grad Drew Brees. They'll get the ball here at the 19-yard line. It's 1st and 10. Breeze hands it off straight ahead. Hit and drop behind the line.
It is just so difficult for offensive lines to account for the safety. Typically, that's the one free runner that you have. And if you have a top-flight safety back there that can come in and make those kinds of plays, it really helps your run defense.
Searching for an open man. Asante Samuel was there to bring him down.
Yeah, I'll be anxious to see how soon they come back with the blitz. They got barbecued on that one. You better disguise that blitz a little better than that if you're going to beat this quarterback.
And we'll have a 1st down and 10. Thomas gets another handoff.
Nothing makes a defensive coordinator cringe more than seeing that kind of run, because then it sets up the play action, and there's almost no way to stop an offense if you can't stop the run and you have to deal with play action.
1st down and 10. Thomas takes the give.
Holding.
He fights
Offense.
forward to about the 46. Jamar Chaney was
down.
there for the stop. That seemed like a pretty obvious hold.
Yeah, sometimes you have holding and sometimes you have tackling. That was a pretty good form tackle right there.
1st and long now after the penalty. Goes through his progression. The quarterback is having some success with this matchup. What do you see here, Chris?
Well, after a big gain like that, the quarterback may try to target this guy for really the rest of the game. It'll be interesting to see how this matchup progresses now that he's found a bit of an opening.
The offense has another 1st and 10 after that big gain through the air. Thomas on the right side. And as we look at the key offensive players, receiver Marcus Colston out of Hofstra is establishing himself as one of the elite receivers in the NFL.
Yeah, you're right, Gus. Marcus Colston helps any offense run as effectively as it can. Having the deep threat is vital to this unit. He's a big guy, but he also is just so strong on those underneath patterns.
And Chrissy is definitely primed to be a performer to watch in this one. Breeze with the give. Fans love this defense, and you can see why. It's a tough group that is extremely aggressive going after the football. Cornerback Asante Samuel from Central Florida is the leader of this defensive unit with numerous Pro Bowls to his credit.
Yeah, and a couple of Super Bowl rings as well. What Asante Samuel brings you is not only great athleticism, but he has just such terrific instincts and a nose for the ball. I tell you, quarterbacks have to be really careful when he's out there on the field.
Ingram gets a call.
Yeah, and for a minute it looked like he might slip out of there, but the defense got there, the pursuit was all over it, and they made a nice stop.
This one from 19 yards, basically like kicking an extra point. And the kick is good. The Saints get on the board first and seize an early 3-0 edge. Number 6 is ready to kick this one off. Number 34 is back to receive the kick. This will be down to the end zone for a touchback. And here comes Michael Vick, drafted way back in 2001 out of Virginia Tech. He passed for over 3,000 yards and ran for 676 last season. They'll set up shop at the 20. Now we have a first down and 10 to go. Has a man to his right. Knocked out of bounds at the 22. Here are the offensive starters, and it's a unit that has no shortage of big-time weapons. Chris, wideout Deshaun Jackson from Cal might be the most exciting player in football right now.
Yeah, when he gets his hands on the ball, you can hear the crowd gasp as if they're expecting something incredible to happen, and a lot of times it does. Now, I haven't seen many guys come in the league and make as many big plays as Deshaun Jackson has.
And Chrissy is definitely primed to be a performer to watch in this one. Linebacker Jonathan Vilma, out of the U, is starting to become a fixture in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, and beyond his physical skills, Jonathan Vilma is really the heart and soul and mind of this defense. The whole unit feeds off his energy. Of course, it helps that he's one of the best players at his position, too.
Third down now. They'll need about 3 yards to convert for a new set of downs. Vick gives it up the middle. The stop was made by Will Smith. We've played a quarter. The score is 3-0. Welcome back to New Orleans. It's 4th down. The Eagles are lining up to punt this one away. Moore takes it at the 25.
That was really a good effort. There wasn't a ton of room for him to run, but he was able to get up the field, get a few yards. You never get upset with a punt return guy like that. It wasn't spectacular, but he got the job done.
They'll start at the 31. 1st down, 10 to go. Looking for a man. He gets the sack, and the offensive lineman didn't have much of a chance.
Yeah, he delivered a perfect swim move, and he was into the backfield in a flash. That's a kind of his signature move, if you will, and he's had a lot of success using it to get to the quarterback.
And it didn't look like the quarterback even saw him coming.
Yeah, he gets back there so fast that even if you have quick reaction time, you're still going to get sacked.
It's now 2nd and long following the sack. He throws short. He's tackled around the 27-yard line by Bradley. Graham catches it for a gain of 5. 3rd down. They'll need 14 to convert. Ball spotted at the 27. He's searching for a receiver. Devery Henderson was the intended receiver.
Just missed that time, bringing him down for a sack, but great pressure to force an incompletion.
Looks like they decided to go for it here. And looks left. Throws. Kurt Coleman was there to bring him down.
Drew Brees with yet another long pass, and I tell you, this guy continues to work the ball down the field. It was just a few years ago he nearly broke Dan Marino's yardage record for a single season, and he backed it up during the 2010 season with over 4,600 yards passing.
So it's 1st down following the big gain through the air. Brees hands it off. And the tackle was made by Quentin Michael.
Pretty impressive stuff. As a back, you have to just keep slamming it in there, believing that hole's going to be there eventually. That time it was, and he took advantage.
And they're set up nicely with the 1st and goal after the huge run. Brees hands it off straight ahead.
And you love to see those linebackers playing downhill like that. Not just flowing sideline to sideline, but attacking and trying to get in the backfield.
Eight yards away from the score. Thomas gets it on the inside. Touchdown, New Orleans. The Saints get the first touchdown of the game. Hartley adds the extra point. Jimmy Graham looks ready to kick it away. Number 34 is deep, looking to return the kickoff. He'll down it in the end zone. They couldn't do anything against this defense on their last drive, and they were forced to punt it away. They'll take over at the 20-yard line. It's 1st and 10. Throws to his left. The stop was made by Danny Clark.
Gain of 18 on the play.
And we'll have a 1st down and 10. And we're at the 2-minute warning. Still looking for an open man. He's got it. Touchdown.
That's the kind of pitch and catch you just love to see in the NFL. And the difference is these quarterbacks' abilities to zip it into little tight spaces, and these receivers don't miss.
They'll try to get within a field goal on this attempt. Extra point is good. Philadelphia will be kicking off. Number 15 stands back to field the kick. He'll return it from the 1. The Saints were able to put a scoring drive together on their last time out. First down and 10. Looks left, loads it up. He's dropped down around the 45-yard line by Patterson. Looking to his left. He's going deep. He drops the easy pick.
Second down.
That'll make it 2nd down with 10 to go. Ball on the 45-yard line. Look out, heavy pressure on him. Wow, he looked like a cyclone down there getting to the quarterback.
It is impressive when a guy that big is that nimble on his feet. He makes it look so easy, and it seems like he's past the offensive lineman as soon as the ball's snapped. Tough to stop.
I'm just amazed he kept his balance.
Yeah, you know what's so incredible? He's running full speed and still has the agility to spin around the lineman, gather himself, and get to the quarterback. Just great athleticism.
And that was a huge gain through the air.
There's nothing like a big pass play to spark an offense. You can see the enthusiasm now, not just in the quarterback and the receivers, but also in those big guys up front.
Good coverage downfield.
Well, that's exactly what you need to do when the defense is blitzing. Get rid of it in a hurry. If you've got a shot at a completion, nice read that time.
The offense sets up 8 yards away from the end zone here. Here's the give.
I know those runs aren't exactly the kind you see on the highlight shows, but you're keeping the drive alive, maintaining possession, and picking up first downs.
The Saints just took their first time out. New Orleans is trying to make this a 2-score game. Surveys the field.
Under pressure, he felt the heat that time and was forced to throw it away quickly.
6 more yards for the score. Hit as he throws. The offense will line up at the 6. Short pass to his left. Right through his hands. He almost had the pick. So they decide to bring the kicker out to try and get 3 points before the half ends. And he makes it. Garrett Hartley knocks it through to extend their lead to 6. That'll be it for the first half of play. The score is 13-7. Saints. Welcome back to New Orleans.
Get your money with your head. Executive branch. Like a player. Yeah, in the club. Yes, it cranks.
Philadelphia will get the ball to begin the second half. This will be down to the end zone for a touchback. They'll start this drive at the 20. Now we have a first down and 10 to go. In heavy traffic. Sacked on the play action. Following the sack, it's now 2nd and long. McCoy on the inside handoff. Big baby shot. Rodgers was there for the stop. That'll bring up 3rd down and 15. Ball on their own 15. Barely gets it off. Jonathan Vilma was there to bring him down.
The Saints did a good job forcing a 3-and-out. Anytime a defense can come up with 3 solid plays in a row like that, you know they are right on schedule.
Moore will start running at the 39. Takes it all the way back to the 49-yard line. Hansen was there for the stop.
He did a good job there finding a seam and getting up the field. You know, a lot of people don't realize that being a punt returner or a kick returner is one of the toughest jobs in the NFL. There's a whole lot of things that could go wrong and only a few that can really go right.
They'll get the ball here at the 49-yard line. First down, 10 to go. Goes through his progression. It's almost picked off.
Goes incomplete.
So they'll face a 2nd and 10. Thomas gets the ball. Trent Cole was there to bring him down.
The Saints set out to run it down their throats. Had some success in the first half with that, and now it looks like all that running is really taking its toll on the defense.
So they line up at the 31. Searching for an open man. Second down now following the incomplete pass. It's now second down, 10 yards to go. Looking for a man. He's looking down the middle. Throws. And the tackle was made by Kurt Coleman. And so far in this one, as you can see, this player has been the impact performer of the game so far. New Orleans looking to go up by 2 scores. Thomas on the run. Gets away from it. Touchdown.
I always say making the hole is the hard part. If you give any one of a number of backs a hole that size, they're going to be able to pop it in there for a touchdown. Nice blocking there by the big guys.
Scrambling away from the rush. Can't get the 2-point conversion. The quarterback had no chance on that play. Talk about raw determination by the defender to get into the backfield.
Yeah, not a lot of pretense on that play, huh? He is so strong, it seems like he can bulldoze through these huge offensive linemen almost at will. They're going to need to find a way to double-team him if they ever hope to keep him off their quarterback.
And that opens up room for other defenders.
Yeah, exactly, and that's another reason why he's so dangerous. You need 2 guys to shut him down, which allows one of the other defenders to get after the quarterback unblocked.
They'll set up shop at the 20-yard line. It's 1st and 10. Opts for a short throw. He's brought down at about the 27 by Shanley.
The play fake gave the big tight end a chance to gain a little separation there, and the quarterback did a nice job of finding him with the pass.
They'll need about 3 yards here on second down. go. Watch out.
The Eagles have had a brilliant game running the ball. If this keeps up, this defense will be totally gassed in the fourth quarter.
And we'll have a first down and 10. Ball on their own 44. Throws to his right. Finds room along the sideline. He powers into the end zone for a touchdown.
Not only did he have great zip on that one, but that was right on the money. It's one thing to have the big arm, but if you're not accurate, you don't get the big payoffs like we just saw there.
Akers is good on the point after. So, time winding down in the third with the score. The Eagles, 14. The Saints, 19.
Executive branch, like a player, yeah, in the club, yes, in Christ. Cute little mama, fully stacked with backs. That's what's up.
Number 9 is just about ready to kick this one away. Number 15 is back to receive the kick. The Saints ended their last drive with a touchdown, so they'll look to make it 2 in a row. First down and 10. Hand off to the left.
And you love to see those linebackers playing downhill like that, not just flowing sideline to sideline, but attacking and trying to get in the backfield.
From their own 14-yard line. Looking, fires it to the left. The stop was made by Nate Allen. Now we have a first down and 10 to go. Ball on their own 37. Breeze gives it up the middle. So we'll head to the fourth with our score, 19-14. Welcome back to New Orleans. The Saints have the ball and the lead as we begin the fourth quarter. Brings up 2nd and 9. Ball on their own 38. Thomas takes it up the middle.
If you want to be considered one of the top cornerbacks in the National Football League, everybody has to be able to cover. But the top guys can not only cover, but come up and make big hits like that. Tremendous play.
Still looking for an open man. Gets rid of it as he's hit.
Yeah, but you have to be careful making that throw. Sometimes those are easily intercepted. You did a good job getting out of there, but that throw was dangerous.
And they keep the offense out there on 4th down. Flips out short. Everything seemed to work perfectly on that one.
And that was a nice job by the offensive line, allowing the quarterback enough time to survey the field and find the open guy.
They line up at the 49. Thomas on the right side. Watch out, he's got space. Clinton Michael was there for the stop.
I know it may not be the popular thing to say, but I can't really give the running back 100% of the credit for this performance today. Let's face it, this defense came in here determined to stop the pass, and they're paying a price on the run.
The offense is now in prime position inside the 10 after the big run. They'll give it off here. Hit and drop behind the line.
One of the tough things about trying to get a cornerback blocked is how athletic those guys are. If you're a fullback or an offensive lineman or somebody out in front trying to make that block, it's just tough to get a hand on those guys. They're quick.
And they'll line up 3 yards away. Breeze hands it off straight ahead. Bradley makes his 5th stop of the game on that play. It's 3rd down and goal from the 2. A score here would make this a 2-possession ball game. On the ground with the tailback. And it looks short from up here. And so we've reached the 2-minute warning. They call on the field goal unit. The kick is good. So after that kick, the score is now the Saints 22, the Eagles 14. Jimmy Graham looks ready to kick it away. Number 38 stands back to field the kick. He'll down it in the end zone. This is obviously a big possession. They have to get the ball into the end zone right here.
Well, this is it, their last opportunity. The one positive part of this for the offense, though, is that everything becomes 4-down territory. So typically on offense, you get 3 downs. Now you get 4.
The offense will take over at the 20. 1st down, 10 to go. He's dropped, and that's a huge sack. They go with the no huddle. Pass is short right side. He gets knocked out of bounds at the 22-yard line.
And when I saw the quarterback drop back that time, I really thought they had something going, but they closed quickly and made a nice play defensively to bring up this third down.
Throws it over the middle of the field. Avant takes a shot. Good defense.
Boy, that was a big hit. I'm not surprised at all he couldn't hold on to that one.
It's fourth down. The Eagles are lining up to punt it away. And calls for the fair catch. And they come back onto the field, still up a score.
Well, it's definitely late in the game, but I still expect them to come out and try and move the football down the field. I always thought as an offensive player, it's much easier to seal the deal on the offensive side than to have to be on the sideline and watch your defense.
He makes his way to about the 48. Quentin Michael was there to bring him down. It's 1st and 10. He's wrestled down around the 46-yard line by number 53. They line up at the 46. Handoff up the middle. And the tackle was made by Nate Allen.
Nothing makes a defensive coordinator cringe more than seeing that kind of run, because then it sets up the play action, and there's almost no way to stop an offense if you can't stop the run and you have to deal with play action.
And he'll just kneel it here. Brings up 2nd down and about 12 yards to go. Goes to one knee again. That's going to do it from the Big Easy. Stay with us for top highlights next. And let's take a look at the Gatorade Performer of the Game.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.